Hey, it's me. Yeah, before I tell you what's going on, I'm going to say this to you. What? What do you mean? Oh, because I'm going to tell you what's going on now, but I'm going to tell you my perspective on it. I know where my mother is, and I'm going to tell you where the fuck she is, but I'm going to preface, but I want you to understand something. It's only chance. Mary, Chris, and William, otherwise known as my mother's social worker, psychologist, and primary care physician, if they had their way, I would never have known where my mom was. Cheryl, she's lost her mind completely. And what that means is that Marion won, but you know what? My friend Joe, he says Marion hasn't won anything but a lot of bad karma, and, you know, he believes, like, on the first source, the creator, when she passes away, she's going to have a lot of explaining to do, and people who believe in heaven and hell, which I don't, my friends say that there's a special place in hell for people. She's won. My mother is, I'm going to tell you something, okay? Because at the end, I'm going to tell you where she is, and I want you to call her. Cheryl, this is just such bullshit, okay? Fuck the stupid. I've already lost every penny of my rightful inheritance, okay? That's just a given, okay? My mom's completely in la la land. I don't blame her. What I want to know is this. This is what I really want to know, okay? I told you I talked to her hostile friend, right? The hostile friend said she never met Marion before. She always hated Marion, and then suddenly Marion's good. I told you she twists everyone around. I never heard. You know, you never heard from Mary, and I never heard from, you know, my mom's doctor. Like, he had come through for me. They all are in cahoots with Marion to keep me from my mother forever. And I know you're smart and deep and aware enough to see that. I'm going to tell you, but I want you to understand the background to this, because it's just chance, okay? And the fact that it's just chance is that's why I'm shaking, okay? Now, you know, I talked to the friend, hostile towards me, I don't know, but what I got out of her was what I already told you I knew happened. Marion picked my mother up and took her home. She didn't. She took her home. Unfortunately, I had been talking to my mom all along. I had left her messages too, and I made sure, because think about it, my mom seems okay, not perfect, but she's never perfect when she's getting out of those hospitals. They drug her up in there, whatever, but she seemed okay. I'm going home, Marion's coming to pick me up, I don't want anything to do with her, I just want to go home and relax. And I said, yeah, well, I'm going to try to get down there and see you and Cheryl, you know, on Friday and bring your stuff. And my mom also had talked about how she had picked up, she had a copy of that she wanted to change the healthcare proxy to remove Marion completely. Even I said, you can't do that, Mom, she's still the power of attorney, you can't just remove her from the healthcare proxy, you know, but at least add me on like you wanted to do in 2010, right? This is just such freaking bullshit. What I got out of the friend was, my mom did go home briefly. She probably listened to those messages too, even though I'd warned her, don't do that around Marion, you know, but I know for a fact, I told you, once I knew my mom was gone, I was directing messages, vicious messages at Marion, because I knew my mom was back in the hospital. Now tell me something, Cheryl. Why does X hospital release my mother, and in the same day she's back in Y hospital? I'll tell you what my theory is that I can't prove, of course. I told you Marion was calling her up and yelling at her in the hospital, right? She had 90 minutes, okay, in the car when she's out of earshot, and I can tell you exactly what she was saying, because she said more or less the same thing to me in 2009, when you wouldn't even have an inheritance, it was for me. It's all about guilt. Remember, my mom would not have her house, she wouldn't have the $53,000, she wouldn't have any of that without Marion, and that's why Marion will forever have the shackles on her. And I can imagine what Marion was saying to her. And remember, she's already fragile, she's just got to this other hospital, she's drugged up. I'm sure Marion was yelling at her out of earshot of anyone to hear, your daughter did this, and she could have even said, you'll never see her again. She could have said anything, she'll never come to this house again, and after everything I did to you, I know what she was doing. I can imagine, I know how she is, and I know how she's talked to me. So she probably was just you know, doing that to my mom, doing that to my mom, and then my mom's mind snapped. I only know where my mother is, okay, because of her friend who doesn't, Marion doesn't have this woman wrapped around her little finger like Marion has everybody else. I mean everybody, all my mom's friends and everything, you know, and the family and everything. She happened to save the number. My mom called her, and she left a brief message, but you know as well as I do it, even if I knew where my mom was, if I don't know her unit number or something, you can't just call up and say, I want to talk to Joe Schmo, you know what I mean? You have to know where they are, their extension or something. Well, you know, Marion and everybody else who, you know, you never heard from Mary, did you? Did you call her? You had said you were going to call her, but the fact of the matter is they are all in cahoots to keep me from my mother forever, and they have a fight on their fucking hands. I've already kissed my rightful parent and said goodbye, okay? My mom's in La La Land. She's happier there. When I say she's in La La Land, she's talking about she's in portals to another world, and where you know, and she's probably going to be committed, okay? No. I'm going to tell you, no, she's in it. She went back she got sectioned again, the poor woman. Do you know how many times police have come to that friggin' house? In the same friggin' day she got released, she got sectioned again. But I asked her, I wanted to know, how did you get, I was transported here from, you know, she's in La La Land. She's not getting out of La La Land. So anything she wants, so I don't care anymore really about that. I've already lost, Marion got everything she's ever wanted. She'll wind up selling my mom's house and pocketing that, whatever that is, $200,000 or whatever. She'll have $53,000 of my mom's and $53,000 of hers. She'll have the 401k in 3 years, and she can choke on it all. Like, seriously, Cheryl, she can fucking die or choke on her greed and her lies about me, okay? But these assholes, I'll go to the press. They are not going to keep me from my mother based on Marion's lies, okay? Marion has it all already. My mom's in La La Land. There's no proof. I have no money. It would take thousands of dollars for me to fight this. I've been told that before. If my mom was doing it, it's one thing. She's in La La Land. Marion won. I hope she chokes on her lies and her greed. Now, let me tell you, this friend happened to have saved this number. She didn't even know what the number was. Yeah, Laura, your mom called me, and I'm not going to call her because last time, you know, I'm not her secretary, and she wanted me to bring her clothes and call everyone to bring her clothes when you couldn't, whatever, right? I tried the number and lucked out. It was actually the patient line. I talked to my mom. Yeah. No, she's in La La Land. Oh, no, she's going to be committed. I visited her, Cheryl. I'll only be able to do it once, I'm sure, because when Marion... So it's over with in the fact that those assholes didn't succeed, okay? They're going to find out. You know that they have to. Last time in 2010, they immediately called Marion and said the daughter showed up. Okay? So you know they're going to prevent me from ever doing it again, and I'm going to fight them. Okay? I have blogs out on the internet, Cheryl. There are things you don't know about me. I have no recourse. As you can see how these people treat me, even my mom's social worker who came over, who knew what the condition of that house was, who knew that I had saved my mom not only from probably burning her house down, possibly destroying her own life, or at least the dog's life, at least at the very, you know, her burning her house down or whatnot, and I was protecting her. She wanted her credit card so she could order all kinds of crap on infomercials. You know, she was going to sign up for life insurance. She would have done that but the bottom line is, and Marion would have had a hard time proving that, you know, if she signs contracts, you know, she was going to sign up for life insurance and she wouldn't even know what she was doing. They would have got her for, you know. But Marion's going to worry about that. Marion's telling everyone, you know, that I told the staff there, I said, my mom's gone. I was crying my eyes out. I visited her for 3 hours, crying my eyes out practically the whole time. And I told one of the staff, I said, this is not how she normally is. And I said, they're not letting her out anytime soon. And she's like, no. And then I said, And I mentioned what was going on in the house, whatever. I hinted at Marion because she said, well, do you think it's dementia or Alzheimer's? I said, oh yeah. And she said, well, you guys should arrange a family meeting. I said, there is not going to be any family meeting. My aunt is power of attorney. I'm nothing. I will be a bit surprised if I can never visit my mother again. I asked her if she thought that they could do that, and she said, well, if they feel that it's in the patient's best interest, and of course they're gonna, because remember, I destroyed my mother's house, I stole $1,700 from her, and I caused her illness, you know what I mean? That's everything Marion's saying. But Mary even blew you off. Doesn't that wise you up? It's been weeks now, it's been almost a month. Mary blew you off. She's not. She was blowing you off before I was able to reach her instantly. You know what I mean? Come on, you can't be, I told you before, you can't be that naive. You have to see what's going on here. I know you don't want to, but it's reality. They want to keep me from my mom. Remember, I've already lost my rightful inheritance. My mother is going to be committed. There's no doubt in my mind. She's in pure la-la land. She even talks about being committed, but she says the gods. She talks about, I don't blame her. But you know what? I went and visited her because at least she knows who I am. She's in la-la land completely. I've never, she's gone. Do you blame her? Rather than think about losing her house, losing her dog, losing me, she's just gonna be in la-la land where everything's fine, the alternate reality where she says, you know what she says to me? The alternate reality, she wanted me to come there, whatever, but that's what I was going to tell you, and then I didn't tell anybody. I wanted to see her first. The alternate reality was she and I didn't have to suffer so much pain in this life, and she's happy there, and she says, because better that than she's gone, she's lost her mind, she's snapped completely. I don't think she's coming out of it. So Marion won the fucking cunt, She won. She won, in that she's going to have everything she ever wanted. This is what I always feared. And my mom, right when my mom was about to do it, and of course, but you know what Marion's saying to people. You're smart, Cheryl. Oh, that was just Laura. She got put these thoughts into her head, into her mom's head. Don't, you know what I mean? She didn't want to do any of that. It was Laura's idea. She bled her mother dry in 2009, fine. She just wants the money. She doesn't love her mother, You know that's what she's saying. You know it. I know it. No, but even Mary knows the truth that I didn't destroy the house, and even Mary blew you off, and Mary blew me off, hung up on me. Even my mom's doctor who came through for me in 2010, I left message after message. I even said, even if you can't help me, will you please call me? He never bothered. It's a different story now, and the fact of the matter is Marion can point, because to ignorant people, oh, Laura didn't clean, even if they shouldn't think I destroyed the house, I didn't stay there like a good little girl and clean it up. I didn't stay there and take care of the dog. I told you how I feel about that. Marion has $53,000 in her pocket only because of my mother's late husband's wrongful death. My mother had $53,000 in her pocket. If I believed I had a chance to get out of there, and I'm glad that I did, but the fact of the matter is I hate Marion. I had a chance to get out of there and to tell her off, even though it backfired in my face technically, because Marion's not afraid of anything, and look what happened. My mom's going to be committed probably, and Marion will sell the house and pocket the money. I mean, it's what I always feared, but, my mom never thought she'd be committed in a million years. Nobody thinks anything will happen until it does, if it happens for the... But check this out. I know what she'll be saying to my family, to everybody, and that's how it looks. We already know she's saying I destroyed the house, and I caused my mom's illness, because we know that for a fact. I've got that from my mom before she went into La La Land, right? But the thing is, she'll also, how does it look? I just took off. I had my mom's dog up for adoption. Now, I'm sure Marion's conveniently leaving out about, she's not telling everybody that they each got $53,000. She's not doing that, right? Because if they did, Come on, if there was a chance, I told you I felt this was a really bad, my mom, dementia, Alzheimer's, she might never go back. I had a chance to grab it. This guy was willing to come and get me without even meeting me, you know what I mean? And I needed to get out of there. I couldn't stay like a good little girl, and I feared if Marion came over, throwing her weight around, which you know she would have done. She was already doing it in a text, because when her son came over, I didn't come out or whatever, yeah, because the first words out of my mother's mouth were, "She thinks I'm crazy. You don't think no, you're my aunt. I love," and he was patronizing me, and I'm like, oh, he's not gonna see. I was even saying, do you see the condition of this house? They don't see it. They don't see it. My mom. But in any case, Cheryl, they have so much money. If there was a chance in hell for my mom to get out, right? Marion can pay to have somebody take care of Angel. I had every right to leave that house. Okay, and you know I did. And as for the $1,700, when my mother's in her right frame of mind, she was talking about all this stuff she wanted to do for me, including when she and I were talking and realizing, we probably shouldn't live together. And she was trying to, and she was talking about she wanted to help pay for my rent if I moved out. I said, Mom, Marion won't let you do that. It's a broken record. We have to hide the fact that you buy some clothes for me. She lives in fear, Yeah, Marion's the only reason she has her house and that $53,000. But you know what? Marion's never let her forget it, or let me forget it, or even let my mother love her own child, okay? And she has shackles on my mother forever, and she, in the end, won and got it all, okay? So I don't even fucking care. But I know what they're gonna do. I know it. That Marion's going to be livid when she finds out I visited my mom. You know that? You know she is. She's going to prevent me from ever visiting her again. Oh, she can, because she has the backings of all the professionals. Remember, Mary didn't contact you. Mary didn't want me to know where my mom is. Everyone believes Marion's lies, as you said, because it's easier. Okay? And because it's based on truth of the past. Because I'm never, ever, ever going to not be condemned for what I did 4.5 years ago. It doesn't matter that this time. But as for that The $1,700, I already explained that part to you. When my mother was in her right frame of mind, she wants me to have it. She has close to $60,000. She and I both know that, and you know, that it's just, if anything happens to me, it's just going to go into Marion's pocket. My mom doesn't need it for anything. It's not like she has like credit card debt of $20,000, or, you know what I mean? She doesn't need it for anything. So, even when she wanted to buy me some clothes, but Marion twists it all around. Marion acts like my mother has no mind and that I do it. I'm the one who gets my mom to give me money or buy me things or whatever. And meanwhile, I was doing everything for my mom. I helped her drop 30 pounds. I cooked her healthy meals. We went to movies together. We went to the mall. I helped her pick out kick-ass clothes. I made sure she took her medication. I hugged her every night. She told me before I moved in that she used to just lie on the couch and do nothing. But none of that matters, right? All that matters is to anybody, to Marion, of course, but to anyone who, and unfortunately, as you know, too many ignorant people on this planet, that it's all about money. That's all it's about. My mom is not allowed to give me a penny, because that's what Marion turns to. And I admit, I told you I made mistakes or whatnot, but I was in a desperate situation. I didn't, and I shouldn't be condemned forever for what I did 4.5+ years ago. You know what I mean? Whatever I did 4.5+ years ago is not what I did now. It was just the opposite. I was paying my mother the equivalent of rent. That $1,700 was only money. Marion wouldn't even have known about it. My mom is stupid. She trusts that stupid friend down the street, and the friend, was one of the ones where my mom was saying that it's my fault, blaming me when she's sick. But you know what else she did with the $1,700? She's afraid of Marion. So if Marion says, I found out and my mom would say, well, I told her to give it back to me. You know what my mom does? She can't. Marion yells at her. You get it? It was the same thing in 2009, Cheryl. On the one hand, I got permission to stay in my mom's house, and you already know Marion hated me, okay? I had a flight home, but it was just a little, it cost me $100. I said, my mom wasn't supposed to end up in the hospital. She just got released a month before, okay, from the same damn hospital. And I got permission to stay. Marion came over at 6 in the morning screaming and yelling, what the fuck are you still doing in your mother's house? And you're this and you're that, and you don't want to work, and you want to do phone sex for a living, and you caused your mother's illness. She went and visited you in LA and came back sick and all that. She always blames me for my mother's illness, by the way. But in the end, she can say whatever she wants. So when I said to my cousin, you know, Marion said this, well, you said stuff too, and then I said to her, you know, Marion's after my mother's estate, and then she talked to me, the one who's my age, like I was 5 years old. No, Laura, Marion's not after your mother's estate. And in the end, my mom, on the one hand, see, when it's convenient for Marion, my mom's crazy, and we're going to lock her up. We're going to have the police come and traumatize her, right, and have her sectioned, because she never goes willingly, as you saw, right? But when it's but when it's convenient for Marion to believe my mom's crazy, it's one thing. But when it's convenient for Marion to believe my mom's the most sanest person in the world, when it comes to screwing me over, she will. When I stayed in that house, my mother was calling me. Oh, Marion wanted me out of there, so Marion turned off the phone on me, so I had no phone. So I was asking neighbors to use their phone, and in the end, they were complaining about me, that I was bothering them. Yeah, because my aunt turned off the phone on me, and she knows I'm there, and eventually she turned off the electricity on me, and I was in the dark for 3 whole days and nights. But I refused to leave my mom's house because